My name is Alyssa, aka The Countess, which is what I'm called on all my social media, and this is my first YouTube video. So for my first video, I wanted to do something that I feel really passionate about and something that brings me a lot of happiness, and maybe it can bring you some happiness too. So today's video is going to be about LGBT representation in video games. I am a Twitch streamer. I've played video games all my life. So basically, I'm going to be making a list of games with LGBT representation in them. If you would like to check those out, I will name every game that these characters are from. This obviously isn't an extensive list, but it is just some of the ones that I've encountered and that I'm sure a lot of you guys have encountered. So let's get into it! All of our characters, I'm going to put little pictures over my pop figure friends. We will miss them, but that's okay. The first on the list is going to be Ellie from The Last of Us. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Ellie, which is awesome, or at least the game The Last of Us, and it's really cool to have representation of an LGBT person in such a big game. The Last of Us Part 1 did amazing, and everybody had been highly anticipating Part 2, so it's pretty cool that we get Ellie as a badass and an LGBT person. Pretty awesome. The second character on this list is Jimmy Hopkins. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, he is the main character of the video game called Bully. Basically, Bully kind of has a GTA feel, but more of in a school setting, kind of more for maybe younger people who like those types of games. This is a game I played growing up. Me and my friends played it, and so it's pretty cool to know that Jimmy is one of us. There was actually an achievement in the game Bully called Over the Rainbow where you could get that trophy by, like, kissing 20 dudes as Jimmy, so that's pretty sick. The third character on this list is Dr. Liara Tassoni. She is from the Mass Effect series. Now, Mass Effect is known for its representation. They are fantastic. It's a great gaming series. Check it out if you haven't. And yeah, she is incredible, and she's a doctor. So what more could you want? LGBT and a doctor. Now the next character on this list is actually from The Last of Us as well. His name is Bill. If you guys have played the game, you know that he runs a town called Lincoln. And yeah, he's a gay man, which is pretty cool. It's pretty sick to have multiple LGBT characters in a game like The Last of Us. As I said, it is so big, so it's really, really cool. Now this next one is one of my personal favorites, and it is Chloe Price from Life is Strange. I think my favorite thing about her as an LGBT character is that her mental health is depicted throughout the game. So I think it's a really cool depiction. Chloe is a great character, it's great representation, and Life is Strange is a pretty sick game. There is another huge name in gaming, and it is Overwatch. Overwatch has taken competitive and streaming and everything just by storm ever since it came out. And it just so happens that there are multiple LGBT characters and there's lots of representation. The first one would be Tracer. She is basically painted as like one of the main characters. I personally haven't played a lot of Overwatch, but I do know that Tracer is pretty cool. It is said in her backstory that she does have a girlfriend back home. And in the same game, we have yet another form of representation, which is Soldier 76, who is LGBT, which is pretty cool. Multiple characters in the same game, just naming a few. Battle Royales are becoming more and more popular, and they're super, super fun. So it's really awesome that one of the bigger names now in Battle Royales has an LGBT character, and multiples of them. The one I'm going to be talking about is Bloodhound from Apex. Now, Bloodhound is a non-binary icon, which is so cool. I've always thought Bloodhound was a sick character, and learning about their backstory as a non-binary person is amazing. We definitely need more representation like this, and it's incredible to note that a huge name in Battle Royale gaming has a character like this. With how many LGBT characters there have been in major gaming titles, it's really cool to see how much more representation we are getting, and it gives me a lot of hope for the future of gaming. The next one is Alexios and/or Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, both characters that you can play as are LGBT, which is just awesome. Assassin's Creed has forever been one of my favorite gaming series, and the fact that it has representation like this is amazing. So if you're looking for a game with an amazing story, every title, it just doesn't miss, definitely check out Assassin's Creed. Odyssey is even more incredible, just because they get better every year. Another series I've always been a fan of is Mortal Kombat, and when Mortal Kombat X came out, I was so pumped because it had an amazing story, it had lots of brutal combat, and it was just awesome. And for the series, the first gay character was introduced, Kung Jin. Now, he is a badass, and it's really awesome that his identity is implemented into the story of the game. Again, seeing so many LGBT people and people of color in these huge franchises is so important, and it just it's just amazing to get to this point of representation, to know that it's only going to get better from here. Now, this next character is a personal favorite of mine. If you guys haven't heard of the series Watch Dogs, it is incredible. It has 2 games, and they're both fantastic. In the second installment of the game, there is a character named Miranda Kamei. Now, she is a transgender woman of color and a councilwoman in the game. Now, Miranda is an incredible character. She's incredibly intelligent, and the fact that she is a trans woman of color in such a huge title in a video game is absolutely incredible. We absolutely need more representation like this, and she is an absolute goddess. So, if you've been thinking about picking up Watch Dogs 2, do it. Miranda is worth it. Now, these are just some of many LGBT characters that are in video games. These are some of my favorite that I have absolutely fallen in love with over the years. I wanted to include some older games, maybe that I played as a kid, and then some newer games that are still being developed as franchises. I think it's really important that we continue to push for representation. Everybody wants to see themselves in a video game, especially when you're such a huge fan of video games. It's so empowering to get on and see a character that you're like, hey, that reminds me of myself. I think another aspect of LGBT representation that is so important is because gaming is kind of a toxic community at times. It's a community I love. It's a community that I don't know what I would do without. However, there are people, as in every community, that are toxic. There are people that are massively homophobic and transphobic, so I think it's really important to continue pushing for representation so that everyone can feel accepted in this community. It's important for people to feel a happiness when they play video games and really do anything, so it's really important for us to keep pushing for representation and to create a very loving and just kind gaming community. I firmly believe that we are going in the right direction with gaming, and it will take some time to fully get representation that the LGBT community deserves, but I think it is going in the right direction. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you want to connect with me on any of my socials, they'll all be below. If you want to see more content from me, I will be uploading to YouTube regularly now that I've started, and I do stream on Twitch every day, twitch.tv/thecountesstv, so check me out over there if you'd like. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!